because that's when they get the time to do things. So hello and welcome to this video. My name is Tabassum Sabir from Beautiful Coaching. Some of you may know me as a self-mastery, self-esteem and success coach. I work in emotional mastery, and today I'm bringing you a video about a question that's been popping up in my inbox loads recently, so I thought I would address it in a video. Hey, can you hear me okay? And is this like, can you hear me and see me okay? And just let me know. It's a question that's popped up a few times for me in my inbox from people who've reached out. So I wanted just to address it in a video because I thought it'd be easier. I've had my own experience around this as well, and my own breakthroughs around this. So I thought I'll just share that experience because it may be a bit more extended than the usual 10-minute post that I do. So first of all, what is the whole thing around copying, mirroring, inspiration? So inspiration is usually that time and that moment when you've realized and you've had this awakening of like doing something that you really want to do, and usually that can be inspired by other people. It's quite common, quite normal, and that's the amazing thing about people in our environment. We're often inspired by those people. Okay, so that propels you almost into your own journey, and then all of a sudden you're in your own journey, and then you become a bit stuck about what to post, what to write, how to be as a person. And a lot of people have messaged me and said that I find that people are copying my posts, or people copying my videos, or mirroring them, or doing them in a very similar way. And it's like I've seen this in some network marketing teams where they teach things to be duplicatable, which is all fine and well, but one of the things which I think is not focused on so much is bringing your personality to the table. So one of the things is that I wanted to talk about is what modeling behavior is. I've got a lot of notes around this, so sorry, I'm just going to be looking down here, and what your creativity will bring to the table. So modelling behaviour is basically doing something that's duplicatable, and I think this whole thing gets really misread, especially in network marketing. Even when I was in network marketing, it was very misread. So being duplicatable basically means being able to copy things that you're not aware, like not copy things that other people are doing. So you want to do things that show and that show important process. It's what our kids do with us when we're adults, and we want them to start walking, we want them to start writing, we want to hold a certain behaviour and certain attitude to make them grow up into certain adults. But it's a little bit different when you're a grown person and you feel like somebody is copying everything that you do. It kind of, you've got different personalities and you've had your own life experience, and then all of a sudden you feel this person is mirroring and doing things the way that you're doing things, and it becomes very uncomfortable, especially if you sit in a circle of people that are very similar, right? So if you're in a circle of people, for example, if you're in network marketing, if you're in coaching, if you're in something else that is a business that is together, if you're starting to like mirror and be very similar to certain people, people will see the difference. Basically, people will often will watch you for a while and will often go to the person who's clearly the person that everybody's modeling, because that's who they'll buy into. That is the personality that people are buying into, so they're going to go to the person who's at the top and showing people the modeling behavior. What happens is when you come across as a leader or as a coach, sometimes this can be misconstrued as somebody not showing their personality, and that's all I'm going to say that it comes down to. It comes down to you not being creative enough and having your own self-worth and your own self-belief to actually appreciate and understand that you've got something to offer that is really, really important to the world. You don't need to model anybody else's behaviour. What you've got to bring to the table is really, really important, and the more authentic that you are around that, the more like-minded clients you'll bring in. If you're doing things that are modelling other people's behaviour, which perhaps shows the lack of self-worth and the lack of authenticity in your own life, then what you will find is that you will attract those kinds of clients. So what you want to do is really feel secure in yourself and be authentic. You want to be yourself. You can be in the same niche and it doesn't make a difference. Again, it's something that I experienced myself in network marketing, where people were modelling people's... See, it's a lot of confusion with what's being duplicatable and what modelling is. modeling somebody's behavior isn't unnecessary. You want to bring your personality to the table. It's really important, especially in coaching and in network marketing, in any field in fact, that you bring your personality to the table. You've got a lot to bring, and if you're in a service-based industry, which if you're in network marketing, you're in a service-based industry, people need to be able to resonate with you and follow that through. If you're not being your true and authentic self, people will eventually clock onto that. People will realize by following you after a short time, they'll follow other people in a similar circle to you, and they will realize that. So what I will say from that point of view is think about, question what are you putting forward and why have you decided to do your like posts or something or whatever it is similar to somebody else's? What is lacking in you that is stopping you from bringing your authentic self to the table? Okay, so think about who you are, why you're here, what your message is, and why you can't be you, basically. What is the reason that you're actually not being you? Because I'm telling you from my own experience of imposter syndrome, there is a deep, dark reason why you're not being yourself. And this is usually based around a limiting belief that you have in yourself, that maybe I'm not good enough and you can't show up as yourself, that you're modeling so many other people's behavior, and then it will actually, to your ideal client, it comes across as a mishmash, basically. So you need to, there's different things that you can do to help you with this. So you can start writing your posts in your own way. One thing that I always encourage people is that, especially when it comes to marketing their company, their whatever business they have, is to write in their own way. It's really important that when you write, you're writing as if you're speaking, so that people get an idea of your personality. People buy into people. People do not buy into companies. People buy into people. So if you're mirroring somebody else's behavior, for example, as a coach or as a network marketing leader, I'm just using those examples because they're my own experience. So if you're it's like almost like a conveyor belt. People start to see that this is just a run-of-the-mill conveyor belt process, that it's a one-size-fits-all, and then actually they'll realize that this isn't very tailored to me at all. I can't connect with this person on another level, which is what they need to do, and therefore they just won't buy into your process and your business at all. Okay, so just reading through my notes. So your key is to empower women, and obviously I work with mainly women, so like I'm talking about when it comes to business, you need to empower other women. You need to have your own self-worth and know that you are enough to bring your own stuff to the table. Okay, you grab people and you trust them, and they learn to trust you. They will ask you things because they resonate with your journey, and that's the difference. Okay, you might think that you're very similar to somebody else, or you vibe very similar to somebody else, and that's fine, but you still would have had your own journey. So there's two people that have been brought up, two siblings that have been brought up in the same house, would have had their own journey and their own emotional journey and their own paths. So they will see things very differently. People will resonate with different things, and that is the biggest thing. So there's a few questions I want you to ask yourself if you feel like you're mirroring people, or even if you feel like that you really don't know what part of yourself you want to bring, because that's a big question that comes up as well. Is that, who are you not to be out there? Who are you not to be out there? Why shouldn't you be yourself? What is lacking in you that is stopping you from being your true authentic self? And who are you not to share with anyone? The people that are out there that moan and groan about you following, you copying them, or you doing something that mirrors them constantly, will be those people who are reacting to you and saying things, and they will be those people that have to go really deep inside themselves and understand that there is something that you are doing that is triggering something inside them. Okay, so I'm really sorry if you're having this experience where you're feeling somebody is being inauthentic with you, but I'm telling you now, this is not about you, this is about them. You're scratching something, you're scratching a scab on them that they've not dealt with clearly, and that they need to deal with, and that's what's triggering them to behave in this way. So even when somebody is mirroring you or copying you, whatever you want to call it, what they're doing is actually triggering. There's something, or they're using these phrases that you're doing that to them. You are triggering something inside of them, and something very deep that they need to deal with. If they're not saying that to you, but you can see that people are mirroring you and it's a bit too close and it's a bit too much for you, the kindest thing that you can do for yourself and for the other person is to gently remove them from your circle. Okay, and I've had this done to me actually, because somebody felt in my past that I was actually copying them, and actually when they removed me from my circle, I continued on my path. So I knew very clearly at that point what my path was, and I've been continuing on it. It doesn't make any difference whether they are in my life or not. It's quite sad because I feel like I've lost what I considered a friend, but at the end of the day, what has continued to happen is that I've continued on my journey, because my purpose and my path is much more important. Okay, it's much more important than people's opinions. I'm not going to let that stop me getting to my purpose. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about authenticity and why it's really important. It comes back down to really showing up. Okay, if you're needing other people's mirroring to, or if you're needing other people's posts to mirror and reflect and be the same as them, then you've got a fear of showing up. You've got a fear on some level. And it may not be very deep, it may be very surface, but there is a fear on some level of you being your true authentic self. And again, it's something that I personally resonate with. Until very recently, I wasn't sharing very many personal posts about my own journey, and I found that really, it was a real big thing for me to do. And being in emotional mastery coaching, people need to be able to relate to your story. It's really important that people relate and understand your journey and your story, because again, that's the kinds of clients that you will also attract and be able to help the most. That's not to say you won't attract other clients as well. You need to understand that if you're stopping yourself from showing up as your true authentic self, there on some level, you're making yourself feel unworthy and not good enough, and they're the things that need to go. And again, you can do this by working on your limiting beliefs and getting rid of the negative emotions. If you're having issues with that, please do reach out to me. I can help you with that. What it comes down to is that that's your own underlying belief, and yeah, that's the clients you'll attract. So what I want you to think about when you are doing your posts, or if you've had somebody say this to you, what I would think about is that, what if you don't get yourself out there? What if you don't get your genuine self out there, and people don't see the real you, people don't relate to you, people don't buy into your coaching because you're showing up as somebody that's not really authentic. What is the other side of the coin? You see, what happens is when you shine bright as yourself, you also light the way for others too. And I learned this, you know what, I had a massive breakthrough when somebody said this in a video that I was watching, and it just changed everything for me. And so when you shine bright, you lighting the way, you are lighting the way for others. So it all comes back down to, if you're looking for other people for inspiration, and people are sitting in the same circle, they will begin to notice. That's not to say that you are copying them or you're not copying them, but if you are consistently needing other people to get your inspiration, then where is your deep down self-worth and your goal and your passion? Where is that showing up? Okay, it's really important to follow your destination and your goal. There's a great story that's told again and again in network marketing. I think it's a brilliant story, that when you get into a car, you don't put somebody else's destination into your sat nav, you put your destination in. If you follow somebody else's destination, you will then take their journey. That is not what is meant for you. You need to take your journey and get to your destination. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. It doesn't matter if people are doing live videos every day or showing up, or they're doing different types of posts. Like, there's lots of stuff out there at the moment, so when things become popular and new, lots of people try them. That doesn't necessarily again mean somebody's copying you. Maybe they're trying something that worked really well for you, and that's what people do. They learn from other people. If something's worked really well for somebody else, then they will obviously try and mirror that. But that doesn't stop you from showing your personality. That should never ever stop you from showing your personality and your passion in what you're doing. Okay, so I want to know, as a question to you guys, who is the person or who are the people that are going to judge you if you show up as your true authentic self? Okay, so are you thinking my journey isn't as exciting and maybe I can't, or are you living in a like fear-based mentality where you feel like you're not going to sign certain clients, or somebody's going to not sign up to you as a network marketing leader? Where are you living in your head and your mind? So I'll give you an example. Really, really funny story that I actually had somebody say this to me once, that I was copying posts and I was doing all sorts of things. At that time, I was actually scheduling my posts the week before, and nobody was aware that I was doing this. I had written out my posts the week before. I still do this now. I still schedule my posts and write them out a few days before, because I can become inspired by my posts anytime. And sometimes it's like before bedtime, so I literally write them out in my notes, and I have a scheduler where I post them into. And somebody had said this to me: why did I keep showing up? The reason is quite simple, because I knew that I was coming from a place of authenticity, and that's it. So I continued on my path. I don't look to other people for inspiration anymore when it comes to posts, but I do for strategy. Does that make sense? So if I know something's working for somebody else with regards to strategy, but when it comes to the actual content of the post, I don't look for inspiration, because I want to show up as me. I want people to be able to relate to me. When they have a conversation, I want them to know who they're getting on the other side of the call, basically, because they've been following my posts, they've been seeing my journey, and they can relate to that. This was a really, really requested video. If you have any questions around this, please do message me. It's really important that you do, because this is a massive topic that needs to be cleared up, I think, and is something that a lot of people are having problems with, especially as more of us are online at the moment. Please do reach out to me and I'll see how I can help you. Obviously, everybody's personal situation is different. So if you reach out to me, then I can have a conversation with you and we can figure out what's going on. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope it's been useful to you. If it has, please feel free to share and add people to the page. And if you're interested in more videos like this, I do go into more detail onto my group page 3 times a week. I'd love to have you there. If you'd like to reach out to me, please let me know and I can get you added into the group where there's lots of freebies as well. So lovely to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful week. I hope you all had amazing I think it was Easter weekend this weekend in the UK, and I shall speak to you again on Thursday. Thank you. Bye.